How are we
Dude.
all about to talk about the main fight? Went up 18 freaking units last week. Welcome into Tapping Vegas, brought to you by Better and Green. Today we are breaking down UFC 319, Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus Du Plessis. Right now, guys, special offer for you. $5 bet gets you $200 in site credit and $200 off Sunday NFL ticket. That's insane. That's $400 value. Right now, all you have to do is bet $5 over on DraftKings. Use the link in the description to get that. This is an incredible fight. We're going to give you guys 5 fights for this card to win you guys some money. We're actually breaking down, I believe it's the entire main card. I might be missing 1 or 2 fights, but we're giving you guys 5 fights. And there's a couple good ones. I'm actually going to have an extra article this week over on bettergreen.com because, Bobby, we have one of the championship fights for the Ultimate Fighter is what's going to be kicking off this card. So I will be breaking that one down a little bit for you guys over on bettergreen.com. Bobby, let's get started with this first fight, man. Take it away.
Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. So Kai Asakura is looking to rebound in the UFC with this fight. I know he just lost his title bout with Pantoja. Wouldn't put too much stock into that, though. Pantoja is a beast. Pantoja is amazing. One of the best flyweight champions we've had in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So no shame in losing to him by sub in round 2. I think Kai Asakura takes this because he's well-rounded. His grappling's great. His striking's great. He definitely has the age advantage over Tim Elliott. Asakura is only 31. Tim Elliott's 38. Tim Elliott's 20-13-1. And then Asakura is 21-5. Asakura's record's better. Asakura is 5'8", 69-inch reach. And then, yeah, he's got height and reach advantage over Tim Elliott as well. It's another thing going in his favor. I really like Kai Asakura in this fight because Tim Elliott's also coming off of, kind of a little spotty record. He just had a grappling match this past March, pure grappling. He lost that in round 1 to triangle choke. Last UFC fight was 2023, so a little bit of a layoff when it comes to the UFC for him, but he won by arm triangle in round 1 over Sumer Derje. Before that, he lost to Makayev by arm triangle in round 3. So definitely a live by the sub, die by the sub type of guy here. But Kai Asakura, I think he's just younger. He's faster. He's more athletic. He's faced some really tough comp and just had, some bad luck losing to Pantoja. Like I said, that was kind of a big step up coming from Ryzen with your first fight, being up against, the flyweight champion, even though you're a vet and you have some experience. I think it was just a bit too much, too fast because now, Asakura has more time to acclimate to the UFC rule set, get used to it. I just, especially with all the reach and height advantages and everything he has, I just find it hard to see Asakura losing this to Tim Elliott. I've just never really been impressed by Tim Elliott. He's always a guy who's down to fight, and he's game, and he's a good, card filler in situations like this, but he just hasn't impressed me much. So, I mean, the odds makers have it, pretty accurate to reflect this because they currently have, you can get Kai Asakura at a -325 money line. Elliott's at a +260. I don't disagree with this at all. It really is, in my humble opinion, going to be pretty damn one-sided. Asakura, you can't really get too much crazy except if you go by sub, that's +1,800. Decisions +150, KO TKOs +140. I think I like Asakura decision here at +150. Asakura is not really a sub guy. He only has 3 wins, 14% of his wins by sub. He hasn't actually had a sub since 2020, so almost 5 years since he's had a sub. He's had more KO TKOs more recently. It's the majority of his wins, 62%, 13 coming by that way, but you're not getting a really great odd on it. So I just like the decision better. I think Tim Elliott's going to be tough enough in a 3-round fight to make it the distance. And yeah, I just like that +150. It's a lot better than the +140 KO TKO for Kai Asakura. So what do you think?
I think we're bringing it back to 1945, and we're bringing bombs. I'm taking Elliott on this one. We're sticking with the American boy. Listen, this is my thought process. It is very scary that Elliott is up there in age. He's been off for as long as he has. Now he's coming back against Kyle Sakura. Dude is 0-1 in the UFC. Once again, he's against Pantoja. And I think Pantoja, every fight that, like the last 3 or 4 fights, he's getting better. I don't know if people are noticing that, but this dude's actually, as a champion, getting better every single fight. So he's a beast. But who has Elliott fought? He has fought Figgy. He's fought Roy Val. And granted, some of these are losses. But once again, these are some of the best guys in the UFC. He fought Nicolau, beat Tagir Ulanbekov, went against Makayev, was subbed in the third, but I was just watching that fight before we came on. He had Makayev in compromised positions all throughout the first and the second. Like that was not a one-sided battle against Makayev. Makayev, very, very talented guy himself. So I think Tim Elliott is still really decent. Sumaderji, you were saying, was his last win back in 2023. At least it's December 2023, so we got it towards the end. I kind of like Tim Elliott here, man, especially when I don't have to take a method. I'm just getting a guy that, I'm getting him on the money line, pretty good odds. He's had a lot better competition, and now we're just seeing too many of these PFL, Ryzen dudes coming over. And, you can't do 1-to-1, but there's levels to this. And the UFC is so far and above these other ones. Maybe Asakura wins this. He is a talented striker. I just think Elliott, his takedowns and his wrestling is going to be too good. And I think he's going to be able to maybe grind this out to a decision victory. Once again, I would not take a method in this fight because I could also see Elliott getting the sub. Elliott could also get, flatlined round 1. There's no way around it. If I'm going with this fight, I'm betting Elliott just in the money line. I kind of like it too. It's a really nasty bet. But looking at the money percentage, 90% of bets are on Kai Asakura, 77% of the money. So I'm on the 10% of the public side, 23%. So we're seeing 13% sharp money coming in on Tim Elliott. I don't know. This seems like just a scary fight for Asakura.
All right.
I might be shocking you a couple times throughout this one. Oh, also, I should say, before we go on to the next one, Bobby was the most accurate predictor last week, so maybe listen to Bobby throughout this one. He tied with Patrick to be the highest score from this previous week, and if you guys want to be mentioned on the show, make sure you guys join our Tapology group over there, Better Green MMA. But those two both tied 605 points, getting really close to the all-time highest score. But Bobby had the more correct calls, 10, and I can't remember how many fights there were, but you did whatever your percentage was last week, Bobby. Fantastic! Congratulations on that win, man.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course. Let's talk about this next fight. We're talking Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page, MVP, the guy that throws Pokemon balls at people. I don't know this one. This one is the one I probably feel the least confident in. I can see Michael Venom Page winning because he didn't look that fast against Maga Shara Bullet. But is he going to be faster than Cannonier? Can he be faster than Cannonier? Yes. I think Cannonier is more powerful. Could it be like Ian Gary and MVP? Like just kind of like holding each other up against the cage? I don't know how good this one's going to be. I think Cannonier has more power, so I'm going to go with the underdog again with Cannonier. 22% of bets, 21% of the money on Cannonier at plus 164. I'm going to go with the American guy again. I'm on a lot of dogs this week, Bobby. So I don't know if what's barking in me, but I'm excited to hear what you have to say because we were talking about this one a little bit before the show. Maybe you'll surprise me.
I think MVP Michael Venom Page is going to be checking Cannonier's TV license this weekend. That's what I think is going to be happening. I think he's going to take away those broadcast rights and he's going to throw them in the clink because they don't play over there in the jolly old England over there if you don't have your license to watch television. So I'm going with him because this is a classic story of MVP's career since he's kind of been in the UFC and, especially Jared Cannonier's life in the UFC. Cannonier just struggles with mobile, rangy guys who just kind of pick apart, just kind of, dance around him, which is whose style tailor-made for MVP style to just kind
Yeah.
of pitter-pat, karate box, just little breakdown, do the robot, do the, Humpty and all that while you're doing absolutely nothing over 15 minutes and then victory lap like you just
Right.
knocked the guy out cold,
Right.
which you haven't done since you last fought the Schnucks Grocer 6 years ago. But yeah, man hasn't had a real knockout. I'm not talking about the TKO leg kick over Guti Yamuchi. I'm not talking about the Derek Anderson doctor stoppage. It was a doctor stoppage. He hasn't had an actual flatline KO since Shinsho Anze in December 2019. But damn, is he good about just dancing around, pitter pat, doing just enough to coast to an easy decision, like he did against Shar Magomedov, like he did against Kevin Holland. Couldn't do it against Ian Gary because, that's his own kryptonite. It's like fighting yourself in a mirror.
Right.
So obviously it's a little hard to beat that. But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen, unfortunately. I would love for Jared Cannonier to just absolutely flatline the dude. But Jared Cannonier's 41. It's surprisingly not that old for middleweight. But, I mean, he's got a lot of miles. And he's just always struggled with those guys. That's why Adesanya beat him. That's why Nasruddin Imavov beat him. That's why Robert Whittaker beat him. Just those mobile, fast guys are his main losses in the last few years that just kind of dance around him, stay just at the edge of his punches, just out of range, just duck out of the way, slide, lean back, whatever out of the way, and he just can't get it done. So unfortunately, I just think that's exactly what's going to happen. He's just not going to be able to land that big shot. MVP is going to do what MVP does and act like it's just absolutely amazing on the winner's podium, blasting champagne when everybody's just ready for it to be over. But that's beside the point. And surprisingly, the odds are pretty close. This is another one I feel like should be way more one-sided. Michael Page is a minus 198. Cannonier is a plus 164. If you want to look at methods and everything, get a little bit spicy. I don't think Michael Page a KO TKO him. I kind of was wondering if maybe he could because of Imavov, but I don't know. Cannonier is a pretty tough guy. And I mean, I am getting Michael Page decision at plus 100, which is the best I've ever seen getting a Michael Page decision at plus 100. So I think I'm going to go with that. Michael Page decision at plus 100.
Okay. Alrighty. Hey, on the opposite side starting off. So let's see if we can come together for fight 3.
All right, fight 3, we got Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates. This one I might be agreeing with you on just because Carlos Prates kind of scared me with the Ian Gary loss because, once again, fighting yourself in a mirror. Jeff Neal's actually a dark horse in this division, and Jeff Neal's kind of been given the hell to the contenders lately, and he's not going down without a fight because Jeff Neal kind of has a similar style to Ian Gary in that they're both pressure fighters, and they both want to do a lot of clinching up against the cage, and they kind of want to keep you up against that cage and just kind of get some control time, just kind of pitter-patter at you, just work at you, that type of thing, do some leg kicks, do some calf kicks. Jeff Neal, famous for that southpaw double attack, in which he'll, kind of go at you with the left hand, but then also get it mixed up when you're anticipating that left hand money shot, go up for a left head high kick and knock you out like he did against Frank Camacho, a little southpaw double attack action. So yeah, I just think that's kind of bad for Carlos Prates because it's kind of like a bigger, stronger version of, Ian Gary in the form of Jeff Neal, just a little bit more rusty version of the same game plan. Because, I mean, split decision loss to Ian Gary is what Jeff Neal, faced February last year. So very close decision. Very, very challenging for Gary, one of his most challenging UFC fights. Actually took it to Shavkat 2 years ago in March 2023. Shavkat had to get the finish in round 3, but Jeff Neal, man, was actually putting a lot of that pressure and a lot of that clinch work and cage work on Shavkat. So that was pretty impressive to hold his own. And then, yeah, lost 5 years ago to Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson was still pretty decent 5 years ago. And then Neil Magny wasn't too shabby 4 years ago. And other than that, I mean, he's beaten Bilal Muhammad. He's beaten Nico Price. He's beaten Mike Perry, Frank Camacho, as I mentioned, Brian Kamazi. Santiago, Santiago, gosh damn it, Santiago, Ponzinibbio,
Yeah.
Vicente Luque, all on his resume, and a win over RDA this past October. Leg injury, round 1. I'm going Jeff Neal. I need to see some signs of life from Carlos Prates. I need to make sure that he's not mentally damaged from this first UFC loss. I mean, a lot of guys do wilt under the pressure of that first loss, like Darren Till, skyrocketed up the rankings, got that title shot. Protest hasn't had a title shot, but he's, come on the cusp of it so fast in the UFC, just to get brutally kind of just nullified and a pretty dominant decision win by Ian Gary. Sometimes that first UFC loss, even though it's not their first career loss, really kind of rattles their confidence. So I want to see where he goes from here. I know he's got a good gym with the Fighting Nerds. I know he's got a good team. But I also really wish he would quit smoking cigarettes because that is just not good for a fighter. I don't care what Kazushi Sakuraba did. I don't care other fighters who may have been able to smoke cigarettes and make it work. I just want to see a little bit more professionalism. I want to see him come out reinvigorated, kind of renewed with a chip on his shoulder. But until then, I'm erring on the side of caution because Jeff Neal is just too much of a dark horse. He just has too many skills in terms of the clinch work and the pressure and all that for me to pass up the odds I'm getting him at. Because you can get Jeff Neal, who this is a pretty realistic chance of him winning. You can get Jeff Neal at pretty decent odds here, plus 200 just on money line. Protest minus 245, and just based off how bad that past performance is, I'm going to go Jeff Neal money line and be happy if he can just get it done. Could I see Carlos Protest rebounding and getting another finish and kind of getting that confidence back? Of course I can, but for right now, I just kind of want to see what happens with this. I want to see if Jeff Neal can get another feather in his cap and if Protest can rebound, or if this is potentially, another loss before he can pull it together, or is he just going to continue to spiral? I need to see before I pass up odds this juicy at plus 200 money line for Jeff Neal. What do you think?
Do you have a lighter?
Hold on. Actually, I do somewhere around here. I do. I have a blowtorch one.
Oh, perfect. Here, let me hold that up.
There you go.
We smoking that Neal pack, baby. Get out of here with that.
Okay.
We smoking on that Neal. Yeah. Yeah, Bob. We smoking that Neal pack, baby. Carlos Protest coming for that head, man. He's collecting scalps. I'm telling you, buddy. Carlos Protest knockout. Plus 110 here. He's coming back. You got to remember, he almost finished Mr. Gary now. He almost finished him at the end of that fight. He makes a couple better decisions. That fight might be ending a little bit different. Think back.
That's true.
Think back, man. You know what the brand of cigarettes that he smokes is?
Is he a Marlboro guy? What's he smoke?
Victories.
Okay. That's an old school one.
Hey, he's smoking those V's, boy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, hey, I think he gets this one. I think he gets back on track because when we were watching that fight that he had, I wouldn't say that he had a very good effort. And I think that you would probably think the same because he came out there, he kind of looked like he was bullshitting around a little bit, didn't it?
Because he was smoking them cigs, bro. He could have finished Gary had he not been gasping for breath.
Mental, bro. It's mental. That's what I think. I think he's going to come in this one cleared and ready to go. I think he went into that Ian Gary fight thinking that he had that one. He's like, Ian Gary, shoot. His wife was probably in his DMs before anyways. Carlos Prates was probably thinking about Mrs. Gary instead of Mr. Gary. So he's focused on the wrong thing, man. It's the mentals, bro. You got to get the mentals right.
You're telling me Gary was too focused on getting the vegan gain shake while his wife was getting the meat?
I'm telling you, if I think that Ian Gary has been up there talking about some beautiful dark skin a little bit too much on press conferences.
Okay.
You saw with our buddy Mr. Buckley talking about him.
Oh, he's talking about he's got some beautiful skin.
It looked pretty zesty. Pretty zesty stuff if you go back. It's out there somewhere.
All right.
Mr. Neal, I mean, he can't even spell Jeff right, Bobby.
Right.
He can't even spell his name. That's CTE. That means you're chinnable.
Oh, Geoff Neal.
Oh, oh, more like Jack Geoff. Let's talk about this next fight, man. Let's get into the co-main. We're talking Leron Murphy versus Aaron Pico de Gallo. Bro, what is up with these dudes coming in outside of the UFC? Going up against Leron Murphy? Pico going up against Murphy as a minus 175 favorite? Ah, God. Like, I know we've been on opposite sides so far, and I can kind of see it going either way in those. I hope you're not on Pico, bro. I don't see how Pico wins this. Murphy's just going to take him to the ground and just, do the old DDP versus Adesanya, just butt fuck the guy on the ground. It's going to be disgusting. I think he probably gets a decision win here. Let's check that out. Once again, you can get the Leron Murphy at plus 145. So it's like you don't need to go with any method here. But just checking it out, that would be Leron Murphy by decision is a plus 250. Ooh, that's really nice, though.
That is nice. Go with it because I have a plan.
Oh, you're not going to do like the other ones, are you?
I'm going to do... I was going to do Leron KO, actually, because there was something in my tape study that I noticed.
Okay, I'll go Leron by decision then, and then I'll throw it to you.
Here's why I'm going Leron by KO. Actually, I'm just fucking with you. You can't see it right now, but I'm doing the Matador like Aaron Pico, where I'm thrusting right now. No, I'm just kidding. That boy's going to get cold clock clean. Here's why I think he's going to get knocked out. If you watched Makwan Irmakani versus Leron Murphy, you're going to see exactly what Pico's doing because I see it just a little bit differently than you. Leron's not going to be the one shooting. Pico's going to be. At least if he's smart. If he's smart, he's not going to want to stand with Leron. His best chance is if he tries to wrestle because Leron can be taken down and he's going to have to rely on that whole American wrestling and all of his wrestling credentials and, the whole English guys and Europeans can't wrestle thing.
Right.
Here's the problem with that, though. He might even get a few takedowns. He might even get a little bit of control time. But just like in round 2, I believe it was against Irmakani, he telegraphs his takedowns so hard, just like Irmakani. Mm-hmm. And Leron Murphy timed Irmakani perfectly for a knee and flatlined him. Could easily see that happen into Aaron Pico. Aaron Pico, for a while, had a 2-fight skid where we were seriously wondering the integrity of his chin. He's coming over from Bellator. Bellator, obviously, the level of competition is nowhere near the level of competition for the UFC. Leron has looked fantastic. I had my doubts in the Josh Emmett fight. Josh Emmett was nothing. Dan Ige was nothing. Edson Barboza was nothing. Makwan Irmakani had a little bit of trouble, but still was nothing. Flatlined him. Douglas Silva de Andrade, Ricardo Hamas. His only blemish is Zabira Tukhugov. That was a split draw. Other than that, the man's basically undefeated, right? Undefeated, 16 fights. 16 fights total. And like I said, I don't even count the split draw. Right. That's just a small blemish, whatever.
Right.
But, I mean, there's a world of difference between Edson Barboza, Ige, Josh Emmett, Amirkhani. Because Amirkhani in 2021 was still decent. Nice little litmus test for the division. Silva de Andrade and Ricardo Ramos. World of difference between those guys and Aaron Pico's last few fights. Excuse me. Put some respect on Henry Corrales, Pedro Cavalho, and James Gonzalez, and Adley Edwards. Real world beaters there. Real world beaters. Not trying to do MMA math, but let's just be real.
Right.
Talent gap between the two divisions. Between the two organizations. So, I just think Pico, if he's smart, this is going to be his game plan to wrestle. He's going to probably even get a few takedowns, but he's going to get kneed. He's going to get kneed right in the chin, right in the butt, and he's going to get finished. And if that doesn't happen, I'm perfectly content with you taking the decision at plus 250, and we still profit. And the KO TKO would be even more of a fantastic win for us if that could happen. Because the KO TKO, oh boy. Oh, shiver me timbers.
Also, I'm going to have to add this in like in post or something. But how did we not start the show with we're coming off our best week ever? Doing this for almost 2 years. How did I bury that? How are we
Dude.
all about to talk about the main fight? Went up 18 freaking units last week, and I didn't say nothing about it to start the show.
Because we just tried burning it, burying it, and giving it all
God.
away, and people still don't want it. They still would rather listen to the competition.
Hey,
And it's becoming so common this year for us. We've been doing this show for like 3 years, but this has become so common over the past few months. It's just a regular ass day.
right,
Oh, it's just a regular ass day. We went up 18 units. You guys missed it. Sorry.
right. hey, it ain't just the comments that are broke.
Right.
Hey,
But hey,
hit us in the comments. Let us know who you guys are picking.
as long as he doesn't get the sub, Laurent decision plus 250, KO TKO plus 650. Could he get the sub? Of course, but I just don't think it's going to happen. And It's just criminal that you're getting them at plus money on money line anyway. Absolutely criminal. This is my sleep at the wheel pick of the week. Sleep at the wheel pick of the week right here. Laron Murphy plus 145 money line. Somebody's asleep.
I love it. Book whoop whoop. All right. Let's talk about that main fight, man. This is what everybody wants to talk about.
We got I can't say it. I
knew it.
And Dricus Du Plessis. Very exciting fight. This is highly anticipated. Hopefully this doesn't turn out like Tony Ferguson, Habib, and rescheduled 3 times. Yeah. It's going to be hard to see these two in the cage until it actually happens, because this is a very exciting fight. One of middleweight's most anticipated matchups in a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
Such a fresh air that's been breathed and brought into this division after the terror that was the reign of Israel Adesanya. God, how terrible that reign was, where people were seriously glazing that man. Head glazer at Krispy Kreme. Shout out to all you employees out there. That man having rematches against people nonstop for no damn reason. And now we have all these young contenders, all these up-and-coming guys, Khamzat, Ateba Gautier, Fluffy Hernandez.
Fluffy.
Finally some movement, man. Finally some movement in this division. It's great to see. And this is kind of the penultimate fight. Who's going to be next in this rapidly expanding division that's got 3 young, hungry guys already at least ready to go after the belt next? Are we going to see the Looney Tunes style prevail against the unstoppable force meets an immovable object in Khamzat Chimaev, or are we going to see that unstoppable force just keep rolling? Some facts about this fight. None of Khamzat Chimaev's opponents in the UFC have made it 1 minute in a fight with him without being taken down. None of them have ever made it 1 minute. I think the longest, I believe, was Usman made it. It was either Usman or Burns that made it 33 seconds before they were taken down. Everybody else, like Kevin Holland, was 3 seconds. 3 seconds and he was taken down. The first dude he fought, the English dude, not Rice McKee, but the other one, like 6 seconds, and then he was taken down. So Khamzat moves fast. He is like the definition of a round one, high explosive, high energy guy. Problem is, he is an entirely different fighter when like you just try to play guard. It's almost like you short circuit his brain and he doesn't really know what to do if you're not actively resisting him. Because there's a moment in the Gilbert Burns fight where he actually had Gilbert Burns on the mat and he was in top position, but he was in Burns's guard and he was just like trying to like raise up and break the guard and get away. And it was just so awkward because Burns actually didn't want to be on the ground either. So he just kicked him away and they both just kind of awkwardly stood up and decided to just kind of sloppily strike from there. So it's going to be interesting if like DDP just kind of like butt scoot stereotypical BJJ and pulls guard on him to see if like his brain just melts and he has no idea what to do. Because the problem with Khamzat, I know I'm saying it in a funny way, but the problem is you watch the Robert Whittaker fight. Robert Whittaker did everything right. He did everything you're supposed to do when you're in those positions, and it made no difference. Right. Khamzat would just counter it as soon as he initiated, as soon as he like Granby rode, it didn't matter. Khamzat just floated to the hips and just ended up right on top and rode with him. He tried to, getting the 2-on-1 control of the body lock that Khamzat likes to use to try to break the grip and get back up to his feet using the fence. Doesn't matter. He just has legs taken out from under him, had the other leg figure forward. All of his weight was still on Whitaker, and he just rode him down again. He just loves that body lock around the chest area, right underneath the armpits, the double kind of like over-under grip. Just figure four the other leg to make sure that you can't post up and you can't stand and try to use the fence, and just makes you carry all of his weight. And it doesn't matter what you try to do to get away. He just floats right on top, rolls with you, goes through it with you, and then ends up in the same position. And that is what is so frustrating about Khamzat, is unless you have elite level submissions and BJJ or some type of other elite wrestling, something a la Gilbert Burns, to kind of really make him think about it, it doesn't matter what you do. He's going to still end up where he wants to. And so that's going to be the biggest factor for this fight, because we've seen brief glimpses of DDP actually having kind of some good scrambles, some good wrestling, some good submissions, stuff like that. We've seen glimpses of that, but we don't have enough to say, okay, is this going to give Khamzat trouble and end him up in a situation where we know if you can survive round one, your chances go dramatically up. Because Gilbert Burns had quite a few opportunities to win that fight after round one. Usman never really got in the fight, but he definitely wasn't out of it, and that's saying something. So Usman's another example, right? Usman did get taken down. He did get controlled, but he had a lot more opportunities to be in that fight because of his wrestling pedigree. So very curious to see, because that was only a majority decision for him against Usman for Khamzat, and that was in Abu Dhabi, which is shocking. That should have been a unanimous. So he's going to have to force a decision, and if he can manage to force a decision, he's definitely in a good spot. Question is, can he? I give the striking advantage to Du Plessis, as crazy and as unorthodox as it is. I give it to him. He's got power in his hands. He's got quite a few KO, TKO wins. He always gives even disciplined strikers fits like he did against Sean Strickland. As much as I'm not really a Strickland guy, I have to say he is a pretty good striker. He is pretty disciplined. He's very technical. Gives guys like those fits and just never plays into their game. That is the biggest thing that Du Plessis has going for him. Is I do admire his radical self-belief in his own game plan, to where it doesn't ever seem like he's fazed by whatever you're trying to do. And I think you're going to need that against a guy like Khamzat. Because if you get psyched out and you get too obsessed with the takedown, you're going to get caught some other way. You're going to get caught by a punch or a kick or a knee or whatever. So I think this is a razor close fight. I think the odds should be pick 'em on this. I've got to go with DDP, as hippie as it sounds, for that radical self-belief, for that like introspection and the knowledge of himself to make jokes about the fight style, to make jokes about the memes that are going around. It's just starting to get a little ridiculous around here with the Khamzat hype. It's like training camp in the NFL hype right now. Like, oh my God, he just spun around Daniel Cormier. Oh my God, he's 8 feet tall. Oh my God, he's size Morgan DDP. It's starting to get a little bit ridiculous now. And starting to, like, I kind of want to see him lose, just because it's getting a bit too mythological at this point. It's getting a little bit too out of reality. And I think DDP can. It's just he's not going to be fazed by the game plan. He's just going to go out there, do his thing, do his Looney Tunes fat kid windmill punch that somehow flatlines everybody on his way up to the top to get this belt. And if it comes to the grappling, I've seen a few things in his training camp. I know it's just training camp. We can't hype it up. But like some things are kind of making me think maybe he could pull off some pretty cool scrambles and some pretty cool sweeps and stuff, and kind of like have a little bit of a challenge here for Chimaev. So if there's anybody that can do it, I have faith in DDP. I like both guys. I really do. I wouldn't mind if Chimaev gets the belt. This is a very exciting, very high-level talented fight. I can't wait to see it. This is my most one of my most anticipated ones of the year. I can't say enough good things about this. I'm fine if either guy wins. I just think it should be a lot closer, and I just can't pass up DDP at plus 200 money line. And I might even visit this for a haymaker. But what do you think?
I think you have a ton of great points, man. One of the best fights, at least like on paper, of the year. Like maybe even, would you say in the last 2 years? Like these are two really really talented guys. The only other one I can think that is like was close would be like the Marab versus Sean O'Malley, but I
Yeah, that was a
wasn't
good one.
I wasn't as high on Sean as I think I am on either of these guys. Um,
Right.
People are afraid of Chimaev, and I know that there's no fighters going to admit it, but people, I mean, people are afraid of Chimaev. They are. They
Yeah.
go. They get in the cage. They're afraid of the Russian guy from the hills. He's not even. I saw that he's like a United Arab Emirate, or I guess that's what he is now.
Yeah. He lives there now. He's originally from Chechnya.
Yeah. So he's just one of those dudes that's scary for everybody because he comes in there with such intensity and then, breaking Robert Whitaker's jaw. Like that was insane. Dude's
Right.
got crazy power, and it's like I get all that. But DDP, he, like you were saying it perfectly. He just believes in himself. And I don't want to be the lazy analysis that's like, okay, he gets past the first 2 rounds, he's going to be fine. But I think DDP is going to be smart enough that he's going to negate any huge shots coming from Chimaev or submissions. Like, okay, he gets taken down, whatever. We were talking to Patrick, the creator of Bobby, help me out here.
Judge Analyzer.
Judge Analyzer. Thank you very much. Judge Analyzer. And we were talking to him, and it really opened my eyes that, MMA, it's really moving away from wrestling. That they like pretty much are going to count the strikes before they go to the next criteria of how elite they were grappling. And so Chimaev gets a couple takedowns, like, okay, he's going to need to be really working in some shots there. DDP, the more active striker, I think he's probably, like I said, not as powerful, but I think he is maybe the better striker in this situation. Which all of these wins and finishes that we've seen from DDP, I'd say he is the less talented striker in most of those. I wouldn't say he's as talented as Strickland at striking. I wouldn't say he's as talented as Izzy, even at this stage in his career at striking. He's just kind of a goofy guy that, like you were saying, how he stays on your back in wrestling. That's like, we call it the backpack drill, is where you just try to stay on the dude, and he just goes crazy every which direction. And if you're going against other good wrestlers, a lot of the times it's almost easier than going against somebody that has no idea what they're doing, because their moves are so unpredictable. Like, you can kind of have an idea of, like, people that know what they're doing. Like, okay, when they go this way, they're going to try and leverage to throw you off. So then you are already expecting that. When they are just so unorthodox, it worked for DDP in a bunch of fights so far. I can see it working for him again here. That Chimaev just has a harder time sticking to him like glue. Do we think DDP could finish Chimaev? That's crossed my mind a couple times.
I think he does. I think that's one of his best chances is finishing. What would it look like odds wise for KO TKO sub double method? Because alone you're getting both of them. KO TKOs plus 550, subs plus 900. Those would be huge by themselves.
God. Yeah, so double Dricus KO sub is only plus 350. I was hoping it'd be higher than that.
Right, same. I think I gotta go with it though. I gotta go with it. I think that's gonna be the haymaker.
I was gonna say I'm gonna do money line like you were for the pick, just because you're getting the freaking champ at plus 200. It makes sense, but then throwing that in as the haymaker, I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think we're covered because we both went money line, but I also had the haymaker just in case. So as long as he doesn't lose, which I mean he could, this is definitely the most razor close fight.
Yeah,
but I mean, I would like to see him beat this test. It kind of would be nice to see Chimaev lose, just because it always, like, I love a good genuine underdog story. Not rooting for the underdog just because, but I genuinely like DDP's story. genuinely like his style. And I like Khamzat, don't get me wrong, but it's always nice to see somebody kind of look mortal and see what they do with that, kind of look like they're this unstoppable machine, but they get handed their first loss, how they kind of deal with that. Plus, another reason why I want DDP to win is because the ultimate proof to me that there's like some sort of higher power or something controlling the universe and pulling the strings behind the curtain would be to see Du Plessis and Henry de Ritter in the same cage across from each other, because nothing else would prove the existence of a greater paranormal force of nature out there than seeing those two meet each other in the most crazy cartoonish fight that I could only ever imagine happens in the UFC. So it would really add a lot of variability and believability for it to be for a championship belt as well. Still would be great even if he loses and it's just like a contender fight or like a tune-up or whatever. But it just doesn't have that same aura as if it's for the belt, DDP versus RDR.
Bro,
It would be amazing.
Bro, whoever wins, as soon as the fight's over, as they're doing the middle of the post-fight interview, the music starts playing and out comes running Johnny Walker to the cage to get finished.
Yeah.
WWE style.
Yeah. And then it's like they bring Johnny Walker into the octagon wearing a mask. Like, I guess it was like Bellator. I forget the promotion that just had a random dude with like a paper bag over his head. It was like the mystery next opponent.
Yeah.
Just do that with Johnny Walker cutting down to 185.
I would absolutely love to see that, man. And the last thing, too, I was thinking while we were talking, we've seen Chimaev just come out, and you were saying that, he's getting takedowns in under a minute on everybody. It will be interesting, in my opinion, to see if, not from the cardio standpoint, but from, the mentals of how Chimaev is. Like, if he's not able to come out there and just instantly take somebody down, how does he respond to that? That's something I'm really interested to see.
Because he looked very human in the Burns fight when he couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
He had more success against Usman, so it's kind of hard to say he looked human in the Usman fight. But that Burns fight, he definitely Burns, I'm pretty damn sure dropped him even at one point with like a right hook or something. Like he got pretty beat up in that Burns fight. And I know people used to criticize DDP on the come up as a contender on his way up for his cardio and all that. Dude got nasal surgery done. Hasn't had problems since. Perfectly fine to go 5 rounds. So that's been solved a long time ago. No cardio issues for him. Going to be interesting. Very interesting to see, since he has the cardio, he has the power. Does he have the grappling? Does he have that? Does he have some tricks up his sleeve? Does that translate to more groundwork? Like, we've seen some pretty fun passing against Robert Whittaker and some glimpses. And the people that are like pointing out to when Derek Brunson almost had an RNC under his chin and all that. MMA math. He's not going to fight Brunson like he fights Khamzat.
Right.
How many times have we seen crap like that not work out? Like, oh, if they lost to so-and-so, they're definitely going to lose to this person. Like, Merab lost to Ricky Simone. Who would have ever thought he would have lost to Ricky Simone?
Yeah.
And people were like, dude, if he lost to Ricky Simone, he can't beat Sean. Like, et cetera, et cetera. You can see all these. I'm sure after Islam, I wasn't really paying that much attention to the rise of Islam Makhachev, but after he lost to Adriano Martins every fight for like 5 fights at least, if Adriano Martins knocked him out, sometimes it just happens, man. Sometimes it just happens.
Yeah. Yeah, our boy DDP breathing in 4K over there. So I hope he gets it done for us, man. That is going to do it for this episode of Tapping Vegas. Please, guys, like this video. If you haven't yet, subscribe. We're getting very close to football season. We're going to have a lot of videos coming out, pretty much one a day, moving over to a more streaming format, but we still have the pre-recorded as well for you guys. So make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Ethan comes out every day with his baseball plays. Like I said, football's coming up. So please, please, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And Bobby, thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, buddy. Peace, guys.
Peace.